Makobura, habari ya jioni.
Niko salama, nashukuru. Hali gani?
Mi niko vizuri. Haukuenda Sabasaba leo? Unajua kuna watu ambao walikuwa wameenda kuadhimisha siku ya Sabasaba. Kuna wale ambao walishikwa, watu walishikwa by the way, walikuwa wanawekwa kwa Subaru pale na sijui wewe haukupata nafasi kuenda kuandamana kuadhimisha siku ya Sabasaba?
Unajua mimi mwenyewe nakwanga activist.
Mbona
Na
hukuenda?
Vilevile nimekuwa nikijaribu mara juu chini niwe na ni participate kwa vitu kama haya, kwa sababu I believe that if there are issues, if the government is not doing what they promised the people, if the people got into a contract with them and they're not performing, then the only way we can petition them currently is either via the parliament, which currently do not and has not worked for the people, according to what I've seen. And therefore, the only way that we have is getting to the street, which is picketing, to simply remind the people in leadership that, the people are not doing good. The people are finding it tough. Yeah, but unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity today. I had actually gone to work.
Yeah.
And it's tough that it is also tough that some people do not understand how the significance and even what was happening today. I'm surprised that so many people were not even aware
that it was Sabasaba.
That it was Sabasaba, to an extent that they are making some rogue decisions in a day that should be respected. But above all, God is with us.
Okay, asante sana. To me, there's something that has always been my center of interest, especially when it comes to managing of the protest, especially between the law enforcement agencies and even the protesters. How do you, because like what I saw was like the law enforcement officers were just coming and arresting these guys. Does it mean that they did not notify the relevant authorities that today is Sabasaba and we are going to protest, or the security apparatus have just decided to do it that way? Then secondly, about even the blocking of the roadblock, because like I'm told there are quite a number of people who are being dropped by Jogoro. The matatus could not access the CBD at some point. How do we manage such protest right now? Is there something that we are missing somewhere?
Yesterday I did give a good clarification on what really Sabasaba mean and how it started. And I gave the version how it started. It started all the way in 1990s.
Yeah.
And during those times, people were fighting for, they were fighting for democracy in terms of multipartyism, something that was not really there. And, they got to a point where they felt that the government or the people in leadership were misusing them and that they were not being listened to. And for that reason, they decided that they are going to fight for their rights. Whatever it means, they will get to the street. And they did. Yeah. Quite a number of them were killed. Quite a number of them were arrested. But that did not stop them. That then made the government to simply understand, or to simply lower their ego and partly get to understand what was really happening. And that is why we then ended with the multipartyism. Not so long ago, during the early 2000s, we had several Sabasabas as well. But now, during those times, it was, it was more of good leadership. It was more of what I can call good governance. It was more of what I can call economic liberation. And we saw leaders get to the street. We saw agreements not being honored. And those agreements made leaders to get to the streets. And they fought. And Sabasaba reminded them that, that was the day that they needed to give more in terms of fighting. And they now come to the ones of early 2010s to
Mm.
2020 here,
Mhm.
there was still Sabasaba. People would get Raila taught the people that the Sabasaba was there and people were still fighting for their rights.
Yeah.
And then now look at what happened last year since this government got into power.
Yeah.
Sabasaba has been honored. And this time around, it is the young people who are driving it. Contrary
Okay.
to what used to happen those other days. The other times it was being driven by the political class. But
Mhm.
this time it is being driven by the citizens, by the young people. And that is a different conversation. And that then tells us one thing.
Mhm.
If you do an analysis, I did give a good explanation on the same yesterday.
Yeah.
All those times, the police never gave the authorization for this particular movement to happen.
Mhm.
All those times, the police labeled and called it unlawful and illegal.
Yeah.
But that did not stop the people. So
Mm.
it is another thing for the police not to say that all these things are legal, because in one way or another they are fearful of one thing. They are fearful of the fact that if they come out to stop this, if
Mm.
they give an authorization and people get out and it becomes an easy way, it becomes tough for them to control.
Yeah.
Probably they're saying it is legal so that they can get a leeway of trying to partly shoot to kill, saying that they never gave the authorization. Because if you saw what they were saying yesterday, they were
Mhm.
simply saying that whoever gets to the street will be treated as somebody who is trespassing or somebody who is going against the laws. So it is not a strange thing. These are things that we've always witnessed. We've always witnessed police officers threatening or distancing themselves from all these matters. And again, um, what you've said about uh, you know what you've said about the police and the Subarus, I can say
Mhm.
the Subaru and the policing. Subaru as a symbol in Kenya, Subaru is associated with rapid response police or the
Mm.
plain cloth. Actually, this time around, we are seeing a lot of plain cloth officers who appear suddenly and then they arrest protesters and then again they disappear. But what
Mm.
then comes to question is the court has always pronounced itself, not once, but several times. Why is it that the court rulings are not being adhered to?
Yeah.
The court was clear that for every officer who is in duty, they're supposed to be well dressed in uniform and they should be wearing things that marks that can be easily used to identify them. So in Kenya, see today you see Subaru, uh, you see Subaru, they are coming. So
Okay.
it is linked to intimidation, I can say surveillance, and
Mhm.
these are all fears that they're trying to bring forth in
Mm.
a way that is contrary to what the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya states.
Do you think there's maybe fear on the government side, especially when it comes to protest, because the way they even treat protesters. I was seeing James Orengo was having a conference. Then there was a guy who was within it was just among the group of Orengo, and he was just selected. He was cherry picked from the group, and of Orengo, and he was arrested. Is there some fear that maybe the security agencies have that okay, there's that the June 2026 could repeat itself if they don't manage it very carefully?
To me, it is not just the police. It is a fear that is coming from the above,
Mm-hmm.
of course, taken downwards.
Mm.
And what I can say is that all these fears are people who have misused the resources. These are people who have mistreated the people. They have not honored or followed the constitution. And
Mm.
therefore, they are simply afraid of people coming out to get or to fight for their rights. So they are using the police officers.
Mm.
And what worries me is some of these police officers, as well as a matter of fact, they've been trained and they partly understand the role and what they're supposed to be doing. But
Well,
majority of them are simply not adhering to their code of conduct, because if somebody is just standing beside a leader who is making his remarks, why would
mm.
you arrest him? Why was it? I watched that as well, and to me, it all shows that it shows, I can describe that as cowardice. I mean, cowardness.
Okay.
Because when you wait for somebody, they would then, if they wanted to arrest him, they would have waited for the member of the leader to speak, and then later on they pick him. The leader himself was actually worried and even had to cut what he was speaking about.
Mm.
And it also shows lack of serious respect,
All
because
right.
these are people who are genuinely getting out to fight or to simply speak about what is happening in the country.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Makobura, for that. And we will still continue to cover and discuss about the meaning of protest, especially in the democracy, how it has been handled nowadays, whereby, you know, it is quite much different. And that's how sometimes politics developed and everything happens. But Makobura, so quick, let's switch gears to politics, especially what is happening in Ol-Kalao. And and this I would welcome it, that discussion with what Millie Odhiambo said, that some so Kenyans are saying that their MPs should die so that they can get development. And this has been informed, if I would say, by much development that is going to Ol-Kalao. Remember, today, Ol-Kalao, they've been given a gas cooker. There's also the poles for the electricity, and transformers are on there from the pictures that we are seeing from online. There's also two boats that were delivered, especially they were for Kemri to Ol-Kalao, and a lot of resources that has been put on the ground. Especially, do you see, especially DCP winning with all this that has been put in place, Mr. Makobura? Okay, Makobura is still having a conversation. All right, thank you so much. Then I was just talking about what is happening in Ol-Kalao, actually, and this one should be a lesson, especially to other leaders, or this one should be a lesson to the political leaders, especially those who are coming from Nyanza, to say that how the Mount Kenya votes are very, very, very crucial and they are very important to President William Ruto. Because the reason why I'm saying that is based on the resources that has been put in that place, especially during the campaign, is a lot of resources. And the question is, how organized is the I mean, like the DCP for Rigathi Gachagua, especially to encounter all that is happening? And how is the informed, how are the leaders, especially the voters, are informed in those areas? Makobura, we were just talking about what is happening in Ol-Kalao constituency on the upcoming by-election, whereby we've seen massive resources and development that has been taken to that area. They are countless. To start with, there's a gas that has been given to the Ol-Kalao residents, which is charging the retail price is 5,500, but now they're getting it at 150. We've seen a good mattress. A mattress has been given to the local area. I'm seeing them from the photos. We are also seeing the poles for the electricity, the meters, the water tanks, and all that is in that area. And majority of government officials are in that area. How is DCP prepared, especially to win against UDA, who seems to be having strategic planning on how to win this by-election? How are they prepared? And is Rigathi Gachagua going to win? And what is the outcome the outcome that will be if UDA wins? Does it mean that President William Ruto is still controlling Mount Kenya?
Uh, Let me just give a small background of this place called Ol-Kalao,
Yeah.
and partly why it matters. You know, Ol-Kalao is in Nyandarua,
Yeah.
and that is part of Mount Kenya West.
Mm-hmm.
Politically very sensitive,
Mm-hmm.
being that you understand the current political discussions that are going on. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua was the deputy president and is currently was impeached and is fighting to remain politically active or politically relevant. He has partly gone throughout the Mount Kenya region and convinced quite a number of people who believes that he's a good leader and believes that they had made a bad choice in electing the president. On the other hand, the president is also trying to be politically active in this particular environment, saying that more of his cabinet secretary are from this particular region. So this is a very political sensitive environment as we wait for this particular, um, by-election. But again, Ol-Kalao has always been very unpredictable because you remember the person who was here won on Jubilee. That is the late member of parliament, David Kiarao. He won on a Jubilee ticket, despite this area was a stronghold of UDA wave during that time. And of course, showing that the constituency doesn't just follow the main wave blindly. In short, what I'm trying to say here is, you remember what UDA did to the Mount Kenya region, but this man managed, the late member of parliament managed to get it via the Jubilee ticket. So this is a very unpredictable area, and that again tells you that the people of this particular region or constituency, they have been very keen on who they elect. They just don't go with the wave.
Yeah.
So let us wait and see if they're going to go with the wave or they're going to elect a leader who is going to assist them in, in what they want currently. Something else about the by-election that has become a test between actually three forces. We are seeing the Ruto and the UDA, which is trying to lock the Mount Kenya West or trying to lock the mountain, partly trying again to show the masses or the people who are in the political limelight that they still have the grip of the Mount Kenya region, as opposed to what Rigathi Gachagua is trying to preach. On the other hand, we are seeing Rigathi Gachagua and his party DCP proving that he still has the grassroots power. Remember, Rigathi has been very particular, saying that the Mount Kenya region will no longer, and that they are done away. They have, they have cleared their relationship with the president.
Yeah.
On the other side, we're also seeing, remember the Uhuru and Jubilee, and of course other political parties within the opposition are also in this particular race. They're also trying to show that they are not dead.
But the Jubilee, remember, sorry, remember Jubilee candidate withdrew from the race and is supporting right now. Is supporting, I don't know how that true is. Is supporting the UDA candidate.
That is part of the challenge that is also coming. That's why I did say that there is like three forces currently, and I had seen this thing. I don't know if I can get the exact names. I will check. But it is not just two leaders who are vying for this particular, seat. There are some opposition. I've just forgotten. I will give you before and we hand some opposition parties together with the leaders who are trying to vie for that particular, position. So this particular constituency is a constituency of interest, and we are seeing what is happening where. William Ruto, who is the president, his UDA machines, together with the fuel guzzlers, we are seeing even senior leaders getting to this particular place. And the brown envelopes, we are seeing, a lot of goodies being given to the electorates. And we saw Rigathi Gachagua on the other hand saying that if UDA believes that they still have the power, why would they spend a lot of money in this particular area, just trying to entice people to vote for them? And I also saw Pauline Njoroge did a tweet. There's something she had posted here that if the president, let me just see if I can find it on the same Pauline Njoroge. Yeah, so Pauline was also speaking about this same thing, saying that, let me just, I saw it. No, not this one. I just saw it. Yeah. Pauline Njoroge wrote this 5 hours ago. During the 2022 general election, William Ruto received 78% of the presidential vote in Ol-Kalao. Today, This is the very constituency where he has now deployed senior government officials to bribe voters and literally buy votes by taking people's ID cards in exchange of mattresses and gas cylinders. Women are now being given rubber shoes. He has gone a step further by taking them a train and boats. The only thing left now is a rocket to take the people off Ol-Kalao on a tour of the moon before the by-election.
But
Isitoshe, the amount of money being dished out is insane. And almost every key government official from Mount Kenya region has abandoned their office to camp in Nyandarua. This is how dramatic Ruto's political fortune have declined in just 4 years. A president who once enjoyed overwhelming support in his constituency now appears to believe that the path back to the people's heart is through handouts.
So, but now, so that, Makobura, but you know that one has worked. Remember when
it has.
Yeah, it has worked because now it depends on how now you are the political strategy on how to win. Because if they find a weakest point, because like what is the DCP doing? Because like how is DCP going to encounter all this gas and all that they are bringing? Because like politics is about perception, you know, and this is just you make people feel like this is how it's going to be with your new member of parliament. But what is the DCP candidates bringing or DCP party bringing on board vis-a-vis what they're doing?
It's you know, the DCP,
yeah,
based on what we've seen, we've seen them trying to survive or fighting back, especially
how are they going to fight back?
It is not easy for them to simply, of course, they are doing the campaigns. We've seen also Rigathi Gachagua through his party also trying to, get rich to the people. The only issue, the only difference is they might not have the capacity, the financial capacity to, to challenge what is happening. Remember the other day, the senator of Nyandarua, is it Nyandarua? Methu. Yeah, Methu was also there simply trying to assist the candidate, and they went ahead to collect quite some amount of money, just to assist the guy in buying some suits, if you can remember.
Yeah, so, after Moses Kuria said that is a chokora.
Yes. So it is not, it is not easy. But one thing I know, the people will have the final say. The final say will then come upon the people having interacted with either the particular particular candidates. They will then decide whether they want to elect somebody based on what was given to them by their political parties, or whether to elect somebody based on the, what these individuals can offer.
Just to remind you, because like you're looking at the massive development that is taken to that area, which was not taken during the time when this member of parliament, even in other areas that are not having by election, we've never seen this. But this one has always been a playbook. Remember when the Mbeere North by election was supposed to take place, there are quite a number of development that was taken to those places. They were even promised to get this gas that is now being given to the people of Nyandarua, and because like and you look at the plan on how the UDA and the party of the president is working, they are very, 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 very serious to take the seat. And even if you look at the money that has been poured in that place compared to what this guy is going to earn when he becomes an MP, you cannot compare. So my question to you that I asked you earlier, what is the DCP? What are the DCP coming up with? Because like even if you want to talk to people and tell them the reality, that we want to vote this guy and this is the reason why you're voting. But remember, there's a money, huge resources that has been put in place. You see people like Moses Kuria, they are there witnessing on how the construction of the power lines are coming. distribution of gas mattresses and all that. And remember, even which area was this? Was it Bumala or not Bumala really? In Western, that where Panyako ran. What was the constituency?
That was
What was the constituency? And if you look at that constituency, remember that was also the trick that was used, whereby the women rep of that area could distribute mattresses, blankets, and some food stuff. And it is the same script that is now used in Ol-Kalao. So how are they prepared? And wait until the D-Day. Will there be violence? Because remember, when you look at by-elections that have passed, we've always witnessed the violence during the voting. What are we going to expect here?
Okay, thank you. From what I've seen, I think the DCP's core strategy in Ol-Kalao, let me put it so, we've seen Rigathi's DCP trying to position itself as the anti-established, or what I can call the pro-citizen alternative in the Mount Kenya region. While their counter UDA strategy, of course, is revolving around the three pillars, where the DCP is framing UDA partly as, if you've been hearing what Rigathi and his close allies are saying, they're saying that the candidate is state backed, and therefore anything that is associated with the state should not be, given a chance, according to his remarks, if you've heard him. He's also saying that the UDA's candidate, the government is using a lot of resources and is heavily funding this candidate, and they're using people's money. That is the messaging that Rigathi Gachagua is trying to put across. And again, he's saying that the government through the UDA is really intimidating the people in the other side, and is trying to come out to say that even their candidate, their movement within that particular area to give their views is being intimidated. And again, they're trying to say, based on what Rigathi has always been saying, that UDA has disconnected with the people, is currently disconnected with the people of the mountain and on the people on the grassroots. And so he feels that he should not be given, he should not be given a chance. And therefore, even if they bring what they are supposed to partly not understand them. And
So
again, what we've seen again is that Rigathi is saying that his party UDA is a party of ordinary citizens. We've heard him saying that even their candidate is somebody, an ordinary citizen, saying that the voices of the Mount Kenya region has always been betrayed, and this time around is trying his level best to ensure that the betrayers do not get, to humiliate them. He's also I've seen him also trying to speak about the home of in his home the other day was saying that the leaders are being punished for speaking out against being mistreated. And so this messaging is meant to attract or distract the UDA supporters. It is also meant to, to attract former Jubilee loyalists. Remember, this was a Jubilee constituency. So they're simply trying to attract those Jubilee sympathizers as well. They also trying to attract the youths who feel that they have been ignored. Remember, the youths are the current citizens who are really suffering in one way or another. As well, they're also trying to attract the small business owners who are feeling the heat from this economy. Remember, there's a group of people who are in these small businesses, and whatever the current state of the economy do not allow them to easily have what we can call a good environment. The DCP leader is also trying to use an emotional, I can call it. So he's trying to whip the emotions of the people, and a sense, making them or trying to put it in a way that this DCP is ours. It is,
Okay.
he's trying to do what we call a sense of belonging, saying that the Mount Kenya must speak with his own voice. And speaking with his own voice means that they join the DCP. He has also, in one way or another, um, he's trying to, when speaking about the emotion, if you hear him out, he speaks. He's trying to protest voter intimidation here and there. And remember, whenever people are evoked emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
there is always a positive thing that they are getting.
All
Something
right.
else that I can speak about is the grassroots mobilization instead of money. We've seen leaders, local leaders, and elders trying. The party is trying to rely on the local elders, the youth, the church networks, the small business association. They're
Mm-hmm.
also trying to rely on the former Jubilee coordinators, being that their candidate went to support the other side. So I think he's doing what he can. We've seen them even moving door to door. The other time, it has been in. You remember when they were trying to give that particular candidate of UDA some money. So I think he's trying his level best. He's trying his level best to ensure that they counter what is happening.
Okay, you can share a
in-
link with Musimamo, then you can continue with him. Let me work on something here, Makobura.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. And as I've shared a link, maybe I hope Mama will join. Yeah. So just like I'm saying, the issue of uh, DCP trying to just counter. We've seen them also trying to get out to mobilize. Through the groups, he's been trying through his people to move door to door to persuade people to elect their candidate. We've seen them having small community meetings. We've seen them attending church events, village barazas. And then something else is the protection narrative, where the DCP is giving voters a message of safety from state intimidation, where you can vote for DCP without fear. The state cannot punish you for choosing your leaders. We will protect Mount Kenya from the external control. Those are some of the narrative that we've seen Rigathi Gachagua trying to put across. This, of course, directly counters the fear created by the Subaru police unit, the heavy security presence that has been witnessed, and the government officials who have always camped in that particular area, trying to just, um campaign for their candidate. So the candidate, who is of course called Sami Ngoto, uh, is a local. I can call him. He's a familiar candidate. He's a former UDA insider who who defected to DCP. So someone who can say that, someone that can be said that he knows how UDA operates, because he left there after he felt that the UDA betrayed the people. So this is a strategic gift, and it of course gives credibility. It gives insider knowledge, and something else about this particular okay, move by the DCP is they're tactical to counter the moves against the UDA, where they're doing what we call exposing government outreach. We've seen them trying to highlight government vehicles in campaign. We've seen them trying to point out or to point figures to the cabinet secretaries, the peers who are campaigning in Ol-Kalao, something, of course, which is against the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. We've seen him trying to expose uh, the government leaders who are using the fuel guzzler vehicles and, of course, the Subarus to simply attend and to convince the people. We've also seen uh, exposing the government for using cash handouts or too much money, trying to bribe the people. He has also tried to speak against night meetings with the chiefs, whom, according to him, is saying that the government is trying to persuade them to, to assist them in this election that is coming. Yeah, so it is not easy, and I can say that um, their candidate or the DCP are trying their level best. Something again that I've also noted is, they're trying to use Rigathi's personal story, where the Rigathi impeachment and isolations are being used as a political tool, of course, to partly do what we call emotional influence again, where most of time they are speaking about Rigathi is a victim of betrayal, so he should not be left by his people. He's a defender of the Mount Kenya region, so he should be listened to. He is a man punished for speaking the truth. Therefore, he's a leader who refused to be silenced. These narratives are all countering the UDA or the government's stand. Something else I can see is they're partly trying to leverage on Sabasaba sentiments, where we've seen DCP tapping into anger over the police brutality, frustration, with cost of living. They're highlighting all these kind of things, speaking about fear of intimidation, state intimidation, and they're connecting the Sabasaba to Ol-Kalao. The same people who were tear gassed. We saw them speaking on saying, there's one of them who was saying that the same people who tear gassed you on Sabasaba are the ones asking for your votes. Yeah, so this is a powerful emotional encounter which can really assist them. Something else is we've seen aligning with the position frustration, where the DCP is quietly, and we've seen them having a lot of conversation with other parties, where we've seen the Jubilee remnants partly joining the PLP networks. We've seen the ODM leaders who are in the Linda Mwananchi team are also trying to, simply come out to support them, and this is an added advantage because it gives more mobilization, more food soldiers, and of course more anti-government energy. So what is DCP not giving? To be clear, they have the money, but they cannot give as much as what the government is doing. The issue of fuel, of course, they need to be fueling here and there, so that is partly a disadvantage unless they have a good uh, amount of money. Government projects, they are not able. We've seen government trying to start projects also. We've seen them trying to give gas cylinders. We've seen them trying to give, quite a number of things. And all these kind of things simply tells how tough it is, or how uneasy it is for the DCP party to survive in this area. So what is the bottom line? The DCP's counter to government and UDA in Ol-Kalao is not material. It is a psychological, it is emotional, and of course it is identity driven. And they're giving, of course, their voice, just using their voice to ensure that they reach out to people. They are also using protest as a way of also trying to remind the people what the government has negatively done, and the only language the government understands is protest. From all these are things that we've seen Rigathi Gachagua trying to do, and I think I'll stop at that point. That is on the issue of Rigathi. And something else that I wanted to give my views on is the issue of the opposition and what they stand for. I saw a good friend Musimamo, and I've just shared a link with him. I'm waiting to see him join. And as I wait for him, allow me to just acknowledge the presence of Brenda. Thank you so much, Brenda, for finding time to join us. Benson was also here, and he has simply dropped to attend for some matters here. Yeah, so as I wait for him, as I wait for Msimamo to come, I will I'd want to hear from you as well. What you think, what you think about the coming by-elections in Ol-Kalao, something that Kenyans are speaking about, something that the people from that region are keenly, not just the people from that region, but the people of Kenya are keenly waiting to see how it goes. Remember, the government is using all they can to ensure that, they take home that particular win. Yeah, so I want to move to the next, which is I want to move to the next segment here about I've talked about the Ol-Kalao. I have also talked about I want to now speak about I wanted to just give my opinion on what I saw. There's something I saw here about the larger, about Atandi making some remarks. I'm just trying to find it to speak about that exact. And let me I'm just trying to find, what was happening. Yeah, so let me just give my view on the Luya unity, where we saw we are seeing Peter Selassie having a different view against Edwin Sifuna. Atandi on the other hand is saying he's armed. And the Luya unity politics, we are seeing a lot in the Luya region. We've seen, of course, the other time we saw the the Standard making an headline that the speaker is related to quite a number of people, something that we are seeing. The speaker came out and gave a different version, actually demanding for an apology. All these kind of things. We are seeing Sifuna being being called as the supreme leader or the candidate for the Luya region. Of course, that was done in Tanzania. Peter Selassie is having a different version. Yeah. So the Luya unity has been a recurring theme. Leaders trying to consolidate the Western vote under one political direction. And on the other side, the different camps, there's Azimio aligned leaders, the Kenya Kwanza aligned leaders, and of course the independent voices are also coming out. So just like Mount Kenya is fighting over who speaks for the mountain, Western region is also fighting for the same, who speaks for the Luya nation and who has the power. So Peter Selassie is coming out to dismiss Edwin Sifuna. Peter Selassie, who is of course a young youthful member of parliament, often used, he often uses humor and of course some theatrics, sometimes clashing with more established figures like I can call him the current Linda Mwananchi leader Edwin Sifuna. His dismissive comments can be, of course, framed as a generational or a stylistic clash. So when Celeste dismisses Sifuna, it's not just personal; it's a sign of how politicians or young politicians are challenging party structures and big names. But again, what is the beef? And who exactly is Edwin Sifuna? And what is happening? Salazar is one of those leaders who sometimes they speak. They might be speaking, having the knowledge of what they're speaking about. Sometimes they simply speak to distract. Yeah, so he has always come out to say that if Edwin is a man enough, he should resign and form a party. And then if he manages to get out with that party, then he will be respected and he will be there to support. Such kind of remarks. Edwin Sifuna on the other side, we're seeing him being welcomed, being given a lot of support by quite a number of leaders from that region. The other day we saw him in Tanzania, the Tanzania leader, governor, coming out to say that Edwin will be the presidential candidate from the Western region. A move that we're also seeing some speculation are coming out that ODM might as well give or make Oparanya the party leader. And that would mean that would be an automatic presidential candidate, and he might go for the deputy president as a way of countering the Western region or the countering the Sifuna influence. Yeah, such kind of things. Politics. And so politics, everything or anything is possible. Ours is simply to wait and see what and how it's gonna be, how it's gonna turn to be. Yeah, so it is what it is, I can say so. And so when an NP tells people, don't come near me, near my car, I'm armed, it tells you everything about where our politics has reached. Leaders does not just fear opponents, they fear the very people they represent. What I'm saying about this is Samuel Atandi's remarks of saying that I'm armed, don't come near my car. Use this. I mean, what is the symbol? What is the meaning? A leader openly saying he's armed and warning people not to approach his car shows the level of fear, paranoia, and of course insecurity in the political space. But it is the political class who has created this particular insecurity nature within. So it is not strange. A leader coming out to give that statement, to me, it shows a lot. It shows the fear that even them themselves, the political class, are going through, because they're the people who are using the money they have to give to the goons, or to hire people, or to hire young people to move around to cause chaos. So it is upon them and the power they have to ensure that they do away with that kind of behavior. Because if this continues, because again, what we are seeing in the Republic of Kenya is not a good one. It is embarrassing. It is making the lives of the people unsafe. And all these kind of things have been done by the political class. Yeah, so just like I've said, a leader who is openly coming out to say that he is armed and warning people not to approach him, his car, simply shows the level of fear and, of course, the insecurity in the political space. And again, I can say that there is need for leaders to tone down. There is need for leaders to, unite. There is need for them to come out and do what is right. There is need for them to solve or to talk about the issue of insecurity which is currently the biggest challenge, which is currently the biggest problem that people are going through here in the Republic of Kenya. Yeah, so I think that would be that would be all for now, as I wait for Msimamo to come and give his views. I wanted to just give a summary of what we've given our views. So the Ol-Kalao battlefield. Ol-Kalao is not just a by-election. It is a political battleground where the UDA, that is the government machinery, and the Rigathi's DCP collide. The race is a preview of what might be experienced in 2027. And again, it is a test of the Mount Kenya loyalist. It is a test of the fear politics and, of course, the grassroots rebellion. But the other question that is then coming is the environment equal enough for these leaders to, is the environment safe enough for the leaders to, to have it safe while they're giving their views, or while they're battling it out? Is the environment equal? That is one of the questions that people are asking. And allow me to just welcome Simamo before I get in to ask him some few questions. Simamo? Simamo?
Halo, unanipata ndugu yangu?
Yes.
Hali vipi?
Niko salama, nashukuru.
Hata sisi pia ni salama, kijihoma kidogo kinatusumbua, lakini tunamshukuru Mungu. Kubwa zaidi leo ni siku ya Kiswahili duniani, hivyo Kiswahili kitukuzwe. Na nilitegemea hilo nilione kwa ndugu wangu Mark hapa, kwamba leo hapa studio basi anaomwaga Uswahili wote. Lakini anyway, yote 9 la 10, acha tuende yalivyo, tuyapeleke yalivyo. Sasa wacha tusikize ung'eng'e kutoka kwa ndugu yangu Mark, na mimi pia niendeleze nao na Uswahili kuadhimisha siku hii maalum ya Kiswahili kote duniani. Kwa maana hiyo mimi nitasema Kiswahili kitukizwe daima dawama. Umeelewa? Labda kama una cha kuniuliza japo maswali mawili matatu, maana sina mbavu za kunyeka sana vile, lakini angalau na mimi pia nitie siku kuweza kuchangia pale nitajaliwa, kwa faida ya wale ambao wanatusikiliza na mashabiki wetu wale. Kwako ndugu yangu Mark.
Okay. Asante sana bwana Msimamo. Nilikuwa nimeyaona haya mambo ya Kiswahili, na sijui ilinipita vipi. So kwa hivyo nilikuwa nimesahau ya kwamba leo ndiyo ilikuwa hiyo siku ya kuzungumza Kiswahili labda duniani. Na kwangu mimi na kiezi kilugha na kizungumzia kwa ufasaha, wakati mara mingi ni vile tu saa zingine inakuwa gumu kidogo, lakini tunapambana. Na kwa hivyo maswali zangu zote nilikuwa nishaandika kwa Kizungu. Taniwia radhi niendelee ama nikizungumzie hivyo basi. Samahani bwana Msimamo, taniwia tu radhi niendelee na Kizungu kwa leo.
Si mbaya. Unajua hatuwezi laumu mguu wa kushoto kisa uko mbele, maana bila shaka hata mguu wa kulia ule mwisho wa siku pia utakuwa mbele. Kwa maana hiyo hakuna lawama hapa, ni kukumbushana tu kwamba siku maalum hii. Kwa hivyo nimesha kuwia radhi ndugu yangu, mdogo wangu, wala usio na wasiwasi. Wewe lete maswali tulipeleke tuyapeleke alivyo. Kwa hivyo mimi nitajibu kama kawaida yangu, kama dawa kwa Kiswahili, maana ndio lugha ambayo naienzi na mimi sana 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 sana.
Okay, thank you so much, Bwana Msimamo. And today we've been talking, or we've been discussing quite a lot in the field of politics. And one of the things that we've had a discussion about is the issue of the by-election in Ol-Kalao, where we are seeing it as a battlefield for the government, machineries, and the DCP. So Ol-Kalao is not just a by-election, it is a political battleground where the UDA, the government machineries, and the Rigathi's DCP are currently colliding. The race is a preview of 2027 and a test of the Mount Kenya loyalty for fair politics, and of course the grassroots rebellion. So my question that I want you to give your view on is, do you think Rigathi Gachagua launching DCP was a smart political move? And again, has Mount Kenya, on regards to Ol-Kalao, let me just be very specific. Do you think Ol-Kalao by-election is just a local race, or it is a preview of 2027? Is it going to be the determinant, or is it going to be a reflection of how 2027 is going to be? Bwana Msimamo, you can give us your view on that. And then, who do you believe is under more pressure in this contest? Do you think the UDA is under more pressure to win this election, or the DCP is under more pressure to win this election? And again, what does Ol-Kalao represent to you in the larger Mount Kenya political story? Can it be used? Can this particular election be used to say that this is how the Mount Kenya are going to vote in the coming general election? Msimamo. Msimamo.
Nimekupata maswali yako. Kiukweli ni kwamba si labda pengine hii inaashiria chaguzi ya 2027 kwamba hii ndio itadetermine 2027. Mimi naona kimtazamo wangu sitaliweka katika angoli hiyo. Kile naeka hapa ni kwamba ni pressure iko upande wa government, haswa kutokana na jinsi ambavyo nimeona wale vigogo wametumwa kule kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba ushindi ule unaenda upande wa serikali ama upande wa UDA na mgombezi wao yule. Lakini kinachotamausha ni ule msukumo wao unaashiria kwamba wanatumia nguvu nyingi, wanatumia resources nyingi na pia muda. Na so kwa ishara hii ni kwamba wao ndo wanalemewa haswa kulikoni haswa DCP. Kwa hiyo wale ambao wako kwenye pressure ni upande wa UDA, kuonafika kwamba labda pengine wahitimize haswa malengo yao ya kwamba hawajaweza kushindwa kwa by election zozote zile. So that's why unakuta vigogo kiasi mark narudi, naona kuna kuna niingilia. So unagundua fika kwamba pressure inawaendea yule.
Yes, Msimamo. Sorry.
Unanipata sasa? Kuna simu tu ilikuwa imeingilia kidogo, lakini imekata. Kwa hiyo nitamalizia maswali yangu, nitamalizia majibu yangu yale ambayo nitaka kuyaweka. So DCP wao wako nyumbani, wako home area, tukizingatia wakati ule wa kumsindikiza mbunge yule, na maneno na vijembe vilivyokuwa machoni pa viongozi. So na jinsi ambavyo kwa tunafuatilia mkutano na wananchi jinsi walivyo. So wenye kazi ni UDA kuhakikisha kwamba labda pengine hasa wataendeleza rekodi yao kwamba hawajashindwa mle ambamo tunategemea kwamba labda pengine chama kingine kama vile DSP kitashinda, kisha mwisho wa siku nagundua UDA imeshinda. So that's why unagundua kwamba kuna hiyo pressure tumeiona, viongozi wanatumwa kule kwa wingi, kwa fujo na nini, unaona, na a lot of processes wanatumia na mambo mengi tu. Kwa hiyo nafikiri ni hali hiyo ili watimize lile, lakini kimkuthadi pale, unajua vyovyote vile ni ngome ya DSP, wana probability ya kushinda zaidi haswa pande ule. So wacha tu tungojee, kwa sababu ni awali mno kuweza kujua kwamba mtoto atakayezaliwa ni mume ama ni mke. Kwa hiyo tukikata nguo mapema, nadhani kwamba tutakuwa tujafanya jambo la mbolea. Wacha tungojee mtoto azaliwe, kisha tukijua ni mume ama ni mke, basi tutaweza kununua nguo, tukizingatia kwamba aliozaliwa tushajua ni jinsia gani. Kwa maana hiyo sasa hivi to me it's too early, ingawaje najua pressure iko kwa UDA dhidi ya DSP. DSP yeye yuko home area, na kwa kweli kida ilivyo inamuelekea swa hiki kiti kinaelekea upande wa DSP. Labda sasa itokee hiyo sasa ya wapiga kura kuweza kubadilishwa mitazamo kutokana na nguvu ile ama msukumo ule ambao tumeshuhudia haswa katika chaguzi zingine ndogo ndogo, kwamba lot of resources zinatumika sana, pesa mingi inatumika haswa kuweza kuona fika kwamba chaguzi zile zinawaendea UDA. So mimi nitaachia pale, lakini haijaleta ile ishara ya 2027 kwamba labda itatakmin 2027 kwa uchaguzi huu dhidi ya mlima. Already tunajua kwamba umeslip, umeteleza. Labda sasa ni hiyo mwenye mbavu mpishe, labda hivyo kaka.
Okay, thank you so much, and I want to appreciate your time, Bwana Msimamo, for finding time to join us. And just like I was saying, I was simply giving a final view of what we have discussed. We've talked about the background and how we got here. And I can say that Rigathi's fallout with President Ruto led to the birth of DCP. His comeback vehicle, Ol-Kalao, is strategically important because it has a history of rejecting imposed candidates and voting independently, making it the perfect testing ground for Rigathi's new political party. What UDA and government are doing, I can say that the government officials, we've seen the CS, the PS, parastatal bosses, are camping in Ol-Kalao under the guise of development tour. I've also seen convoys of government vehicles, Subarus, chief mobilizing, cash handouts. You've seen night meetings, creating pressure and of course fear. And the UDA's message is vote with the government and or be left out. That is what they've been saying. What is DCP giving to counter the UDA? DCP cannot match government resources, so they can counter with identity, with emotion, and of course grassroots mobilization. The identity, DCP is simply coming out to identify itself as the People's Party and UDA as the government's party. And so, what is also here is the DCP's tactical, the Sabasaba, something that we also spoke about. Sabasaba, Subarus, and the fear of politics, where the Sabasaba demonstrations showed how quickly the state can deploy force. Subarus, of course, are symbolizing rapid arrest and intimidation. This fear is spilling in Ol-Kalao, influencing voters' behavior. So DCP counters this message with the protection and, of course, courage. So the wider political drama here is the Luhya unity, where we are seeing Celestia and Sifuna Tandi speaking differently. And I can say Western politics mirrors the Mount Kenya tension, where the Luhya unity struggles, Celestia versus Sifuna. shows the generational conflict at Andy, saying he's armed, all this. And now I will say that, Ol-Kalao is simply reflecting what I can say, the politics of what we are waiting to see in the near future. And so I would want to end at that point. Allow me to take this opportunity to wish you all well. And of course, to say that your opinion counts over here. We are live on both our platforms, Kikao na Sauti and Brother Benson Media. If you are watching for the first time, we request that you kindly like and subscribe, because if you do so, it is a way of supporting us. Na sisi hapa tutasema ni asante. Thank you so much and God bless you. See you again tomorrow.